Hi, I'm Brad with BigFamilyHomestead.com, and today's video I have for you the holy grail of gardening tips, and that is this, worm tea. Who doesn't love a nice steaming cup of worm tea, you know what I'm saying? You don't drink it, it's for your plants, goofball. So whether you're into vegetable gardening, fruit trees, nut trees, shrubs, flowers, worm tea should be the first thing on your list that is going to turbocharge your plants, your veggies, your yada yada yippee skippy. Worm tea, 2 thumbs up. Let me tell you what, this stuff is amazing. And today's video, I'm gonna show you how you can take some castings and make a tea out of it so that you don't have just a small amount of juice, you have a large amount of juice with millions and millions of incredible bacteria that are good for your plants and do all kinds of amazing stuff. So I do cover why you need worm tea, the benefits, what it's gonna do for your plants in another video, so you can check that out. That's not what this is today. That was the overview. Today is the hands-on, getting our fingers down into those worm castings and making some stuff that's gonna turn our veggies amazing. So first things first, what do you need to do this? Well, you need a bucket, you need an air stone like a fish air pump, and an air stone that will bubble the water in the tea. You're gonna need a paint strainer bag. You're gonna need some water that is not chlorinated, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. And you're also gonna need some worm castings, so bring on the wormies. Psst, you almost forgot the unsulfured molasses. You need unsulfured molasses. Okay, so the very first thing you're gonna do is get your bucket filled up with water. You don't have to have it topped off. It's really however much worm tea you're gonna wanna make. And the very first thing you do is you wanna make sure that there's no chlorine in this water. So if you are on a municipal water system, 99% of the time you're gonna have chlorine in your water, so you need to get that out of there. So what you do is you take your air stones, your bubbler, and you put it right down in. See, I've actually weighted this down with just a piece of metal. And you go ahead and put that down in there, and it's gonna start bubbling. And you're gonna wanna let this go for at least an hour or 2, and that will allow the chlorine to escape. Now, one word though, if you have rainwater, if you've collected rainwater, you're good to go. Good to go, could go right ahead, but if you're on a municipal system, I highly recommend you get rid of the chlorine. You could kill your good bacteria and not even get started with your worm tea. So get rid of that chlorine. Worms, you say? Yes, I say. Okay, so now we've got our worm castings, the poo that is for me and you, right? And our plants, really. Well, I mean, it doesn't stink though. It's kind of cool. So what you're gonna do is you're basically gonna take your worm castings, and I would say we have about 2 to 3 cups worth of worm poo there. And you're gonna put it into a paint straining bag. As you can see, we've used this one a bunch. And then you're gonna go ahead and tie that off. I'm gonna use a little zip tie right here, got a zip tie. And then what's gonna happen is you're going to hang this into your bucket. You're not gonna just let it drop to the bottom. It works better if those bubbles, the air bubbles, can come up through the bag. It aerates all the poo, gets all the bacteria happy, and lets these bacteria feast on the molasses. And that makes more and more bacteria that's good for your plants, good for you. And so I'm gonna get this going right now. I'm not gonna show you the gory details, but I will show you the completed poo sack. Okay, so as you can see, our sacco poo is ready to go. It's in the paint strainer bag, zip tied it off there, and we got a little bit of twine so that we can tie it onto our bucket. And that's what we're gonna do right now. All right, next, we've waited for our chlorine to bubble off. And we're ready to put our sack o' poo down into the bubbling cauldron o' soon-to-be worm tea. You're gonna give this a little shake, and then we're gonna tie this on here. We don't want it to sit on the bottom. We want it to be suspended. So we're basically gonna tie this thing on there. I'm just using a simple slip knot. And that way I can pull it off there very easily when we're done. So there it is. I'm going to show you what we got. And then the next thing and last thing is your unsulfured molasses. You're going to put, about 2 to 3 tablespoons in there. drizzle it around, and this is going to give those good bacteria something to munch on. Look how nice and rich that water has already become. That is amazing. Now what's gonna happen is we're gonna let this steep. We're literally gonna let this steep for about 24 hours, and then it's ready to use. All right, so we've made our tea, we've waited the day, and it's ready to use. Now, how do you use this? How do you apply it to your plants? How does it go? Well, it really couldn't be any simpler. You just literally can pour it right onto your plants, right onto the leaves. You can use a regular old garden waterer. You can pour it directly out of the bucket onto the plants, put it on the leaves, make sure it gets down into the roots. You can also, if you want to have one of those pressurized sprayers, you can do that. Just make sure that you're not dumping big chunks. If some of the castings have gotten out of your bag and into the bucket, make sure that that doesn't get into your sprayer, or else you will regret it, because it'll be clogged up and it'll either mess your sprayer up or it'll take forever to clean up. And there's a reason why I know that, because the first time I did it, I messed up my sprayer. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 10 out of 10, count them, 10 out of 10 plants agree you need worm tea. Honestly, sometimes I just get talking and who knows what the heck is gonna happen. Sorry about that. Seriously, worm tea is great for your plants. Check out my other videos and you'll see all the stats and all the figures, and well, you get to see more of me, yeah. Anyway, please like and subscribe the video, pass it on. It really does help our family out. We're trying to get up the subscriber chain so we can get our dedicated YouTube name. That would be awesome. So if you can help out with that, I would really greatly appreciate it. My name is Brad with BigFamilyHomestead.com, and you have an amazing day.